hurry up and share it with a friend. You can literally get paid for telling someone about local Bitcoin, local.bitcoin.com. There's no KYC, there's no nonsense because Bitcoin.com never touches the money in any way. And you can get 20% of, it only charges a 1% fee, but you can get 20% of that 1% by telling your friends about it using your affiliate link. So you just make an account, no ID required, no passport required, share the link, and you can get part of the money from anybody that trades there based on your link. So easy.
And next up, BitPay releases option to purchase BCH with fiat in-app.
So I want to talk a little bit more about BitPay. So just maybe, I think it was this week, it was last week at least, there were a bunch of these crazy Bitcoin maximalists talking about how BitPay is...
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,567. Silver at $17.83. And Bitcoin is trading around $9,730. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on Tuesday, a House committee approved a bill to put a 3-year ban or moratorium on the use of facial recognition for surveillance or any other purposes by the state and its political subdivisions. Passage into law would represent an important first step towards protecting privacy and rejecting the national surveillance state. Activist Post reports a coalition of 3 Democrats introduced House Bill 2856 January 27th. The legislation would put a 3-year ban on the use of facial recognition by government in Washington state. If passed into law, state and local government agencies would be prohibited from obtaining, retaining, requesting, accessing, or using any facial recognition technology or any information obtained from or by use of facial recognition technology. Additionally, any information obtained from or by the use of facial recognition would be barred from being used as evidence in any trial or other proceeding before a court or other authority subject to the jurisdiction of Washington. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. At the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, world leaders addressed various ways to combat climate change and help the environment. It was there that U.S. President Donald Trump committed to the Trillion Trees Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports a bill is currently being drafted by Representative Bruce Westerman, a Republican from Arkansas, that would set in stone the commitment to the planting of billions of trees annually. If the legislation passes, the U.S. will plant 3.3 billion trees each year over the next 30 years. Over the last few years, tree planting initiatives have increased across the world. From Ireland pledging to plant 440 million trees over the next 20 years, to Ethiopia breaking the world record by planting 350 million trees in a mere 12 hours. Chemists working with the U.S. Army are developing new uniforms that can quickly break down toxic substances, protecting troops from bioweapons, according to a report from Wired. Omar Farah's lab at Northwestern University is testing a fabric that can neutralize nerve agents. The new fabric is part of a collaborative effort between the college and the Army, which might take upwards of a decade to test and then commission as the next-generation battle uniform. Activist Post reports the fabric can destroy nerve agents VX, soman, and sarin. The dangerous chemicals can be made in a biosafety level 4 laboratory, like the one found in Wuhan, China. Wired noted that the Army already has uniforms to protect troops from nerve agents, but there are no uniforms that can destroy the toxins. Jared DaCosta, a researcher with the Army who is not involved with the project, said the military has been searching for uniforms that can shield troops from bioweapons and at the same time destroy the chemicals. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. According to sources, all 6.5 million residents of Indiana spontaneously formed thousands of perfectly uniform rows throughout the state Monday morning and established a collective consciousness. Saying, "We are Indiana," the new hive mind talked and moved in unison, with citizens working together to build a massive geometric superstructure in downtown Indianapolis where they would gather to sleep, breed, and feed.
All corns for Indiana. All corns for Indiana.
The collective state went on to report that soon Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, Kentucky, and Canada would all become Indiana. Persons close to Phoenix area friends Jake Welter and Mike Seflin confirmed Friday that the two men are absolutely incapable of greeting each other like normal human beings.
Beep, 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 beep.
Sources say the two full-grown men simply cannot walk into a room and shake each other's hands, relying instead on elaborate dances, forced pop culture references, and extended fake fighting. Neither Welter nor Seflin was available for comment as they were busy pretending to rip each other's faces off.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. You can call in and take control of the show. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight in the studio, it's myself, Captain Kickass. We'll be joined shortly with Ian, and we have another guest.
Etienne de la Bouissy.
All right.
Squared.
Squared even, huh?
Squared.
A name so nice, he says it twice?
You know, the original Etienne de la Bouissy was a 16th century political philosopher, and I took his nom. I take his name as a nom de plume, but I put the exponent at the end to differentiate me from the original and to make people be able to find my work on Google.
Oh, very nice.
Sorry, DuckDuckGo.
Very nice. And so while we're talking about that, you want to plug your site?
Yeah. So first of all, like most people know me for the book Understanding Our Slavery, how organized crime runs the government and the media.
Yep.
And so my big news tonight is that I have rebranded and expanded the book. And so the new title is Government, the Biggest Scam in History, Exposed.
Government, the biggest scam in history,
the biggest
exposed.
Scam in history. Somebody challenged me. They said that that religion was the biggest scam in history, and I had to come back and I had to say, well, statism really is kind of a religion, so they're kind of tied.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Well, I was when I talk to people about this kind of thing, they're like, oh, well, where do you think government comes? Well, it comes from religion, right? Like, to me, religion was the first government. Right? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you had folks who claimed to be clergy of whatever, insert religion here, telling folks what to do and how to live their lives. And if they didn't follow their directions, they would burn in a fiery pit of hell or whatever it is, depending on the religion they were subscribing to. And so that's how they got people to sort of conform and obey and, you know, do whatever they wanted and told them to do. So you are absolutely spot on in my mind with that analogy that, yes, indeed, government is a religion. It's a cult.
It is a religion, it's a cult. And that's really what the book is all about. So it's exposing what I like to call the unethically manipulative textbook cult indoctrination techniques that the government uses on the population through the mandatory government school system, through the 6 monopoly media companies running hundreds of subsidiaries to give everybody the illusion.
It's down to 6 now, huh? I remember like maybe a decade ago it was like 8 or 12 or something like that. And
it's actually probably less than 6. So in the book, I've got a really good media ownership chart from 2006, and there's been even more consolidation since then.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to actually raise money to redo the whole chart to like modernize it, and I can't even keep up with all of the banking monopolization. I mean that like private equity and all this money, they just keep buying and consolidating, and
Right.
it's hard to keep up.
Well, speaking of the effects of folks who have been sort of wronged by this cult of government, are you familiar with the Killdozer?
Oh, I am, absolutely, of course.
I brought in, this is just a quick update for those who are paying attention. I've been following Killdozer since, well, it went down, right? And the term was coined and all that kind of thing. And the documentary has a release date now for the film about the Killdozer. So this article is from OutThereColorado.com. In 2004, a man named Marvin Heemeyer wreaked havoc on the streets of Granby, Colorado in an armored bulldozer that would be dubbed the Killdozer. More than 15 years later, a documentary about the incident is set to be released. Titled Tread, the documentary tells the story of a man pushed to his breaking point that uses his welding skills to fortify a bulldozer with the goal of crushing those that he believes have wronged him. Thus far, the film has been met with favorable reviews. It currently ranks a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. It features a number of real news clips, reenactments, and interviews. Powered by an independent film distributor called Gravitas Ventures, the movie is set to hit select theaters on February 21st, so coming up here in a couple of weeks. Shortly followed by a February 28th video-on-demand release. And there's a trailer in the article. We will drop this in our Twitch, twitch.freetalklive.com, so that you can also see the trailer. If you're interested in learning more about the Colorado Killdozer, one great resource is Patrick F. Brower's book on the subject titled Killdozer, The True Story of the Colorado Bulldozer Rampage. So February 21st, the documentary is coming out. I'm pretty stoked about that myself.
Yeah, I mean, the dude it's a really interesting story, and of course they screwed him pretty hard, which is what led to him going and basically building his own tank and then rolling it through, what was it, the police department or something?
Like the
town hall?
Yeah, the business, I think, that was trying to sort of make his property become an island, right? There was another businessman involved in that.
Was there? I don't even remember the details.
Yeah, they'd blocked his business. It was an egregious assault on his own, economic liberty and his own ability to make money. And so the government was definitely again in the wrong. And then it's constantly pushing people to the breaking point because they're constantly stealing people's money, stealing people's houses, throwing people in jail for victimless crimes, forcing them to work in for-profit prisons for pennies, an hour. It's just complete slavery for victimless crimes where there is no victim.
And I have to say, too, that, with regards to Killdozer, this is, maybe an extreme example of, a man who, felt he got pushed too far and, took matters into his own hands. I hate to quote Knight Rider, that one man can make a difference, right? But, I mean, his actions may not have been the most moral, but I think they were justifiable from a self-defense perspective, right? He, didn't go out and intentionally start murdering people, right?
He didn't kill anybody.
Right. He destroyed
he killed himself.
Okay. He destroyed property, and he made a statement because he felt backed into a corner by the powers that be. But I am surprised, really surprised, that we don't see more of this kind of thing like on a daily basis. And
there is a lot of it. So there was a guy. I know that there was a guy that was arrested on a victimless marijuana charge, and he took his tractor and he took it down like a big, huge, like combine kind of tractor, and he crushed like 10 police cars at his local.
That was in Vermont, right?
I don't remember where it was.
I'm pretty sure that was.
I just remember the guy just crushed every single police car in the back of the lot.
Is there footage of that?
No,
there's footage
pictures
of the aftermath.
Yeah. So, if anybody's listening and they decide to, do something along those lines, maybe get a couple GoPros, mount them on whatever vehicle or whatever thing it is you're going to do. Maybe put some drones in the air to capture some footage to upload so that the rest of us can tell your story.
You got to make it a multimedia assault. It's got to be, for the thing. So real quick, I was down in Richmond 2 weeks ago for the rally for the Second Amendment. 22,000 armed gun owners on the steps of the state capitol in Richmond saying not just no, but fuck no.
Oh my God! You gotta hit him. You gotta hit.
Sorry, I forgot. We can't
hit
do
that dump button. We weren't expecting that out of you. So hit it twice. Hit it twice. Hit it twice. There you go.
Okay.
And then hit the other one right behind you there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So you can't say that on the radio.
I forgot about that. I apologize.
We're on broadcast.
So they didn't
radio.
just say no. They said hell no.
They said heck no, Beav.
Heck no, we're not going along with this. And I got to tell you, one of the things that I realized...
Except for the ones that went into the zone that was completely controlled by the police and they were searching people, right?
So that was my question was, were you in the fenced-off zone, the quote protest zone, or were you like sort of outside of that with, all the other people?
So I was outside of it, but I wanted to go in. So we didn't know what was going to happen when we went into the city.
Uh-huh.
And I went in with some of the Liberate RVA guys down in Richmond.
Cal Molinet.
Yeah, Cal Molinet and that crew. And I got to tell you, at first, we didn't know what to expect, and so we were kind of prepared for the worst. And then we walked in, and it was just once you got in there and you realized how many people were there, you realized that the citizens owned the streets, the government was just there at our pleasure. And that there really is. I mean,
it's a strange way to put it.
Yeah, but it really was. So the police were remarkably well behaved.
All right, coming up, we'll have more about Etienne in Raleigh. We'll talk more about the Killdozer, and we'll take your calls.
Don't miss this year's Liberty Con with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend to spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. The talk show live on the radio, 200 stations where you can call in and take control. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE like freedom. Here in the studio tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
Hey, I'm Ian.
And Etienne de la Boissy squared.
And Etienne is our special guest in the studio today. We've been talking a bit about Etienne's work. We talked a bit about the Killdozer. And you were regaling us, Etienne, with your experience down in Raleigh at the
Richmond,
Virginia, at the 2A convention. That's a Second Amendment convention where everybody was armed, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a convention, so it was something called Lobby Day.
The protest, if you will, right?
It was a protest where 22,000 armed Virginians.
22,000 22,000.
And when I say armed, I mean armed to the teeth. Way better armed than the police, way better armed than the National Guard. Probably,
really?
like, not everybody in the crowd, but like probably 40% of the crowd had weaponry equivalent to special forces operators, and then probably about 40% of the crowd was jocked up in tactical tailor combat gear, like everything that you would need to like wage full on, a self-defensive war against an oppressive tyrannical government. Nice. They were armed up for it, and you really realized how few police there are, really. You know what I mean? When there's 22,000 armed people versus 300, 400 police. I mean, they might as well not even been there. I mean, nice. And more than half the police were on the side of the Second Amendment protesters.
What do you mean on the side?
So there were sheriffs in full uniform carrying signs saying we support the Second Amendment. We're like in full, absolutely positively in their dress uniforms supporting the Second Amendment at the rally.
Do you suppose they were on the clock?
Probably.
I'm asking legitimately because for a while in another state, I worked at a convenience store. And they used to have some problems with theft at night and gas and goes and all that kind of stuff. And they would hire off-duty policemen to just hang out in the convenience store in full uniform of the city in which I lived. But they were not on the payroll of the city because they were on the payroll of the convenience store for that time, right? So it was a moonlighting gig for them. But so they were limited in some of the actions that they could do. They still had their radio and they could call stuff in and, call other on-duty cops and that kind of a thing. So I'm just curious if the guys carrying the signs were on the clock or off the clock.
It was a Monday morning, so I'm assuming they were. Yeah. Either way, I'm glad they were there. It was so the thing that I guess the big takeaway for me was a couple of things. Number one, There ain't gonna be gun confiscation in Virginia. I mean, if you were a police officer or you would have to be retarded. I mean, like you would literally, to even contemplate it, to even think about it, to even, for a second entertain the idea in your head. If you had seen what I had seen and seen the level of weaponry and the level of preparedness of the population for just such a tyrannical, episode.
Yeah.
You would have to be retarded to try and disarm Virginians.
I mean, I've seen, sports ball games where, there's 25, 30,000 people. So I'm picturing in my mind now all of those people armed to the teeth, wearing tactical vests and, carrying,
body armor, plate carriers, bulletproof vests. It was impressive.
Nice. We're going to go to your calls right now. We have Jerome from South Carolina in Charleston. Jerome is calling. He wants to talk about Trump and the rigged trial. Jerome, can you hear us?
Yeah, the mafia. The mafia that they got in the White House now, the mafia Don.
Yep.
Don Trump. He's got the right first name because that's what he is. He's a mafia Don.
Organized crime.
Well, I mean, in
just
that
like
respect,
his predecessors.
Casino owner.
Yeah, the previous Don was Don Obama.
No, I don't know Don Obama because he couldn't get away with something like this. Hey, you really think, if the House acquitted him, if the House acquitted him on something like this, and then it went to the Senate, they would say, "Oh yeah, we agree with the House." There is no way they would have acquitted him. They would have thrown him right out of there. But you know what? They're just a cult now. That's what they are. Because they're all going with the same thing. Romney's the only one that's got a spine because the rest of them are a bunch of spineless. They're so spineless, man. They know he's guilty. And now he's firing people to tell the truth. Hey, how's he going to mock Feldman? Does he have a military record like that guy? How does the guy was fired to prison mock a guy that's as decorated as that guy Feldman, huh?
So Jerome,
I don't even know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
Who?
Jerome, you were spot on when you first started speaking with, yes, he does have the right name and it is a mafia, but you're really down that rabbit hole as far as the minutia of who's the Don in charge. I mean, the government itself is the mafia, and you're just arguing over who's best suited to run it, I think.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay, God forbid you go on trial for something, okay, and you didn't do it. You say you were innocent. And they said, we're not going to have any witnesses. We're not going to have any documents, any testimony to support your innocence. We're just going to send it to the jury. No, we're just going to send it to the judge or send it to the jury. And if they convict you, you just get convicted and you go to prison for the rest of your life.
That happens all the time.
Go for that?
Happens all the time, Jerome. No matter who the president is,
wrong.
no matter which person
and it
is
happened
in the
under
chair.
Obama, and it happened under George Bush, and it happened under Bill Clinton.
It happened under Carter.
And the federal
President Obama. When did President Obama get away with something like this?
Oh, I don't know.
He murdered people. How about that? How about murdering innocent people in the Middle East? He got away with that.
He drone bombed people.
He got an award. He got a Nobel Prize, a Peace Prize for murdering people.
Yeah, he also murdered an American citizen under the age of 18.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
also handed $600 million to Solyndra that disappeared into thin air. He also spent almost $1 billion or more than $1 billion on a website.
Now look, we're not saying
with a company represented by one of Michelle Obama's friends
and I'm not
from
saying
college.
he's worse. They're all the same.
He handed trillions of dollars to private banks and private companies through the TARP and the TALF and the bailouts. Crazy criminal.
What about the fake war that the Republicans sent us into and destroyed the economy, and now they're being praised as heroes?
They're all in on it together.
The economy's so good now.
Dude, they're all in on it together. They are all in on it together. It is a joint.
Hey, Jerome,
effort.
are you a fan of the WW Worldwide Wrestling?
No, because it's fake, just like that.
Yeah, just like this is
Just
fake.
like-
This is it.
Just like the political
They got
theater.
you fooled.
All right. Thanks for the call, Jerome. We're going to take more of your calls coming up. Plus, we'll talk about some more fun and interesting things with our guest, Etienne. And stay tuned for more. 855 450 free if you want to get on the air. And you can also listen to us online at freetalklive.com. freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Do you ever feel like you're in jail, a virtual jail, because of your job or maybe your current relationship where you're not allowed to do what you really want to do? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live, the radio program that you can take control of and talk about whatever you like. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, I, Captain Kickass, have been given the outstanding privilege of piloting this program on a Saturday night, so I want to give a shout-out to Ian, who's here in the studio with me, for training me up and,
it's all my fault.
Giving me either a shot or making a poor decision and giving me a shot, whichever it turns out to be. We'll find out over the course of the next 2.5 hours or
You got it, man. You're all set. You're doing good.
And we also have special guest Etienne.
De la Buissy squared.
And we're going to talk about some really cool stuff. But first, I wanted to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. We've been talking about a lot of things, and we had a recent caller who seemed to think that the state or the status of the mafia changes with whomever is in charge.
Well, no, he was convinced that Donald Trump is a mafia don, and he's right.
And he is.
But he wasn't convinced in any way, shape, or form that his predecessor was as well.
Right.
He completely gives Barack Obama a pass for all the violence that was committed under his reign. Is, for whatever reason, totally fine.
Yeah.
But then when somebody from another political party comes in, then all of a sudden then there's, issues with what that person's doing.
We find this frequently with what I like to call the partisan divide, right? It's like, oh, I'm a Republican and oh, I'm a Democrat. And they basically disagree with who's going to lead the mafia. But they never really, seem to understand that it's having the mafia in the first place, having that chair that seems to be the problem, at least in my perspective.
Yeah, they really don't. And Etienne, touched on it. These guys are the same. They're on the same team. It is very much like the WWE, where they act like they're opposed to one another, but in reality, hey, did anybody ever call Hillary Clinton, and bring charges against her for all her crimes? No, of course not.
When the cameras are turned off, they're all visiting each other. They're having barbecues and drinks together,
right.
Behind the or backstage.
I'm pretty sure there's camera photos of Donald Trump with Hillary Clinton from the early 2000s.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, certainly, absolutely.
So I'm actually convinced that this is being scripted just to waste everybody's time. And I got to go back to the Kavanaugh hearing. And so with the Kavanaugh hearing, the thing with the Kavanaugh hearing was the two big things about Kavanaugh that would have been discussed.
Supreme Court judge.
The Supreme Court justice during his confirmation hearings. Mm-hmm. The two things that would have, that naturally would have been discussed if not for this manufactured BS, he said, she said, to distract everybody else, was that Kavanaugh participated in writing the Patriot Act,
mm-hmm.
and Kavanaugh was the assistant prosecutor that came in under the Ken Starr report and essentially covered up the death of Vince Foster. So I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but during the original, so when White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in the Clinton administration, there was a commission set up to look into it, headed by Ken Starr. Ken Starr was the lead guy. There were assistant prosecutors under him. One of the assistant prosecutors was a guy named Michael Rodriguez. Michael Rodriguez essentially said, "Holy shit, this is."
Oh, God, you got to hit that one. You got to hit. Go ahead and hit twice, and then get. Yep. Thank you.
Sorry,
we're gonna have to kick you off the show soon.
No, I won't do it again. I apologize. So anyway,
That's
Michael,
two.
Michael Rodriguez was he said, "Hey, this is a cover up. This is this is being covered up," and he resigned in disgust, and he asked that his kind of opposition be included into the final report, which you can see as an appendix.
Yeah.
And so the prosecutor that came in and then covered everything up after Michael Rodriguez quit in disgust was Kavanaugh.
I have more to say about politics being produced, but first I want to talk to Daniel in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Daniel, I believe you had something to say about our previous caller?
Well, yeah. Okay, first of all, I'm right on the same page with you as far as politics being produced.
Okay.
It's a joke. I mean, they're setting everybody up behind the scenes. To consider Barack Obama to be a member or not a member of the mafia and say that Donald Trump is just factually incorrect. One thing that I'd never hear anybody talk about that's always on my mind when it comes to this elevation of people in power is the Freemasons.
Okay, and who are they?
The Freemasons, the stonemasons, they've controlled this country since the beginning. I mean,
guys who lay brick.
No. What he's talking about? He's talking about Freemasonry, which I look at as the original organized crime too. Yeah.
I was hoping he would sort of alliterate that for our listeners.
Yeah.
I mean, it expands into the Knights of Columbus and the Knights Templar, and it's all involved. It's one big sect, and I don't believe that there's anybody who's ever been in presidential power that wasn't involved in one way or another.
Wait. So you're saying that every United States president in some way, shape, or form is either a Freemason or associated with Freemasons?
Well, being a member of a Freemason is not a secret. What they do in their private meetings is a secret, but being a member isn't. George Washington was. Let's see. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Freemason. Barack Obama is a Freemason.
My roommate is a Freemason. I mean, are all of these guys supposed
my boss is a Freemason, and I'm actually trying to get into the Freemasons.
You don't want to be a Freemason.
Why not?
So first of all, like I agree with I agree with the caller that I think it's the original organized crime, and so it's an organization that has a network of lodges globally to where if you wanted to project power. You can project power globally.
Well,
think of them as like safe houses,
right?
And then you've got a membership.
I'm familiar with the concept of like friendly societies and like the lodge, sort of organization. So how is the Freemasons different from that type of an organization?
So Freemasonry has different levels. And as you go up levels, more secrets are revealed to the initiates as they go up the level.
Sounds like Scientology.
It's not so much of a level as a floor. There is a floor that is the secret society of Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm.
As you come up through Freemasonry, their goal is to build strong-willed, good men. Their code is family, job, because you need your job to take care of family, God, and Masons.
Well, that's what they tell the porch masons. Do you know that term, porch mason?
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Can you define that?
Once you become a 33rd, I can't specifically define it. It's basically a generic mason.
No. So masonry is at the upper levels. It's people using this global lodge system to project power, to be able to, use, say, Mason in distress and get out of court things.
So you're talking about favoritism within membership, right?
Yeah. So they're sworn to kind of elevate each other in business and in politics. So you'll frequently find Masons running a lot of small towns where the sheriff's a Mason, the mayor's a Mason, the judges are Masons, and I mean it's very, very common. If you do Masonic police emblems, you can see that they've got like from dozens and dozens of departments. There's Masonic components to where they even have their own patches.
Hey Daniel, thanks for the call. We're going to talk more and take more of your calls coming up on Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. If you want to weigh in, what are the Freemasons and how do they...
Do the
affect
letters
you?
IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Hey guys, it's Sue Cosner, your favorite sexual health expert, with another version of Ask the Pro. This month, I got a letter from Sandy in Seattle about an explosive bedroom secret she and her husband recently discovered. She writes, Dear Sue, my husband and I used to have a great life in the bedroom, but in the last few years, he has struggled. He's tried about everything, but nothing has worked. Then one day he came home and gave me a night I will never forget. He told me about this secret formula, Noxatril, that changed our life in the bedroom once and for all. Wow, Sandy, you beat me to it. I recommend Noxatril to every guy that struggles in the bedroom. It's the only one. Noxatril is all natural and works to increase blood flow fast. It's like that little blue pill on steroids. Noxatril has a special free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
To find out how to get your bottle of Noxatril, call 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
That's right. You can come on the air along with us and join us. If you call in through our Discord line, you can sound like you're sitting right next to us in the studio. The quality is normally very, very good. Or you can dial our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, like freedom. I want to take a minute and thank our amplifier. Who is it? It is Andy Loy. Andy Loy is a silver amplifier for our AMP program, and that stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, AMP. And this is a program where you can donate, and all of the money that you donate goes to get us on more radio stations. We're currently on over 200 radio stations now.
Almost all of it. A little bit goes to those pesky credit card and PayPal fees, so they take their chunk, and then we get some.
Okay, but my point is that none of it goes to the hosts, right? We're not getting paid off of that. This literally goes to help get us on more radio stations. So if you, the listener, want to hear us on more radio stations, we can do that. I mean, it's almost limitless to what we can do. It's just a matter of having the power of the amplifiers behind us. So you can find that information at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. And thank you again, Andy Loy, for being a silver amplifier.
Oh, yeah, and that reminds me, especially since we were talking about Virginia and what was going on in Richmond a couple weeks ago, I wanted to say welcome to our newest radio stations that we had come on board, actually in the Richmond area. So WNTW AM 820.
That's awesome.
And their FM version, which they've got a little translator at 92.7 based in Chester, which is right next door to Richmond. So we got listeners out there. They're on board with us actually all 7 nights a week, which is pretty awesome. So they actually carry our Saturday show live. So they're listening tonight live there in Richmond, all 3 hours. And then 1 hour a night, we're on midnight to 1 a.m. every night there on WNTW. So,
wow. And that's thanks to all you amplifiers out there. We really appreciate that. We've been talking about a lot of things, but let's go to your calls. We have Graham in Pennsylvania. You're live on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hello. Hello, Graham.
Graham in Pennsylvania. You're live on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Or maybe he's not alive. I don't know. But he's not there. You can put him on hold and then just hit the hold button and then, yeah, there you go. So we'll let the board op check on him and see if he can, maybe he's in a bad cell or something like that. So just move on.
Okay, well, so we have been talking about, well, many things. But Etienne, you had a story that you teased us about when we were, airing our sponsors to the listeners.
You got arrested?
Something
recently?
About you and the Secret Service?
I got arrested by the Secret Service.
I'm very curious. Was this at the protest?
No, this was not. So I gave a speech at the Anarchadelphia. Let me give you some background, and I'll tell you how I got arrested. But I gave a speech at the Anarchadelphia conference earlier this year where I told the biggest secret of the Secret Service, and you can see that speech on YouTube. It's called The Biggest Secret of the Secret Service. They know government is run by organized crime, and I tell a very fascinating and humorous story about the Veterans March on the Memorials in 2013, where I took my kids and we figured out that the uniformed Secret Service knows that the government is run by organized crime. And I told that story in the speech, and in the speech I promised to drop off some of the copies of my book, Government, the Biggest Scam in History Exposed, but I was sold out of the printing at that time.
Okay.
And so I just got in the 4th edition, 5th printing of the book, and I'm moving to New Hampshire as part of the Free State Project.
Oh,
but
nice.
I was back down in Virginia a couple of weeks ago for the holidays, and I was going to visit a friend in D.C., and I was going to stop off at my favorite falafel place, Amsterdam Falafel, and I'm on my way, and I'm driving past the White House, and I remember I had promised to drop off some books to the Secret Service, so I pull out, so I'm like literally just spur of the moment, I'm driving right past the White House. It's 9:30 at night, not last Friday night, the previous Friday night. And I just pull up to this uniformed Secret Service agent at one of the checkpoints, and I go, "Hey, I'm an author exposing organized crimes, control of the government and the media, and I promised to give you guys some books, and I've got some books, and I just wanted to drop you off some books."
Okay.
And he's like, "Hey, you can't just park," because I kind of just pulled up to this thing. He's like, "If you pull over right here, I can talk to you, but I can't talk to you if you're parked right here." And I go, "Yeah, sure." So I pull over. And the next thing I know, I'm surrounded by 6 Secret Service officers.
They were so excited to get your book.
They were so excited to get my book that they all came up and surrounded me.
They're like, yeah, Etienne's here. Let's go check him out.
And so they're kind of, it was kind of funny at first. And I'm like laughing because they've got this trick where they'll come to different windows of the car and they'll ask you different things to try and, I guess, get your attention or whatever. And I'm kind of laughing at their stupid, police tricks.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to ID me. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get, I explain this is what I'm doing. I retell the story. And then, I'm like, I'm not willing to ID because I don't trust them because they're organized crime and everything like that. And so we're going back and forth, and I'm like, "Do you suspect me of a crime?"
Just to clarify, you're sitting in your car.
I'm sitting in my truck, pulled over right by the edge of the White House,
with or without your kid.
By myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they're all leaning into the car and they're like shining their little flashlights around, like, can we arrest him for something? Can we tax him for something? Can we steal his money? And sure enough, one of them, 2 days before, I cleared out the center console in my car, and their lights come across a small little handful of 5 bullets.
Oh my gosh.
Unregulated ammunition. Oh my God.
Man.
And so as soon as he sees it, I immediately get arrested. They immediately they get me out of the car and they cuff me, and I just go off on them. I'm like, this is exactly my point. I mean, y'all are now kidnapping me. I've done nothing wrong. For a crime to be occur, there's got to be a perpetrator and a victim, and there is no victim, and so you're literally. So then they kidnap me. They throw me into the Washington, D.C. jail for the evening, which was a fascinating
And there's no politicians in that jail, right?
No.
Oh my God, it was literally unbelievable. But so everything happens for a reason. And so I've been talking to the Secret Service around the White House, and I've done one time where I went and I talked to like 30 different uniformed Secret Service agents, and I explained to them in detail. I gave them some of my card. I said, hey, download the book.
Right.
And so I was able, I was able to have kind of like a very long conversation with a couple of these Secret Service agents. And so there was probably like out of the 6 that arrested me, I got good vibes, believe it or not, off kind of like 3 or 4 of them. One of them was kind of like obviously evil, but like for the most part, they seemed like, that they weren't necessarily bad people. They were just a victim of this Gubernari Mente, indoctrination system and everything like that.
Collecting a paycheck, doing their jobs.
Collecting a paycheck, doing a job.
Okay, what did you get charged with?
Unregistered ammunition.
Is this unregistered?
It's a misdemeanor in Washington, D.C.
Wait, you have to register a bullet?
It's D.C., man.
Evidently, I haven't, I'm not going to waste my time looking into the government's ridiculous, voluminous rules and regulations and everything like that.
I think
Wait, does every individual bullet have a distinct serial number on it?
I think they're proposing things like that, but I don't know if that's actually happened.
I don't know how you would register, 5 bullets or whatever, right?
I don't either. But the funny thing was, so they arraigned me the next day. So then we go to the court, and then they transport us to it was an amazing experience. It really was like a trip. There was like a comedy show involved. Like all the prisoners were just like, some of them were just outrageously funny, and like it was a hoot to be in the thing. It was kind of long, but other than that,
of course.
And so some of the other cool thing or interesting things that kind of happened in the entire experience.
Hold on. Wait. Did you go with not guilty, or what happened at the arraignment?
So this is the story I was just about to tell you. So they back you into the courtroom, and so like they got it down.
You mean
to,
physically?
It's like yeah.
Like you don't go in face first.
So it's like a factory. So there's like 50 plus people.
What's the point of that?
They were in a big group that we were all like arrested the night before for the overwhelming majority victimless crimes.
Of course,
the overwhelming majority. In fact, a lot of people, the majority of people there, believe it or not, because I was going around just to see how many were victimless crimes and how many were victim crimes.
What are you in
the
for?
The
and that kind of
overwhelming
thing?
majority were victimless crimes, and the number one thing that people got arrested for is domestic disputes, where if the police come in Washington, D.C.,
they have to arrest someone.
They have to arrest someone. And so the guys are all like, yeah, what am I going to do? Send my girlfriend started it, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Send her to jail? So I took the bullet and everything like that. And so these are ridiculous.
So you got a bunch of open container, drinking, other things. What's a
panhandler? There was a guy in there who was arrested for panhandling.
Was this, and now since it was the Secret Service, see, I don't know how things work in D.C., right? Like in most places, you got the city cops, you got the county cops, you got the state cops. In D.C., it's kind of a different situation. You got a bunch of federal police. You got arrested by
Capitol
the Secret
Police,
Service.
the Uniformed Secret Service, the Park Police, and the D.C. Metro Police all operate in D.C.
So is this like a federal court they took took you to, or was it like the D.C. Circuit District Court?
It was the D.C. court, but like the U.S. Marshals were running it. So like the people that were running the court were the marshals.
I want you to tell more of the story when it comes.
Sure.
When there's more coming up.
Coming up, your calls and more from
It gets funnier.
Etienne on freetalklive.com. That's Free Talk Live.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,567. Silver at $17.83. And Bitcoin is trading around $9,730. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on Tuesday, a House committee approved a bill to put a 3-year ban or moratorium on the use of facial recognition for surveillance or any other purposes by the state and its political subdivisions. Passage into law would represent an important first step towards protecting privacy and rejecting the national surveillance state. Activist Post reports a coalition of 3 Democrats introduced House Bill 2856 January 27th. The legislation would put a 3-year ban on the use of facial recognition by government in Washington state. If passed into law, state and local government agencies would be prohibited from obtaining, retaining, requesting, accessing, or using any facial recognition technology or any information obtained from or by use of facial recognition technology. Additionally, any information obtained from or by the use of facial recognition would be barred from being used as evidence in any trial or other proceeding before a court or other authority subject to the jurisdiction of Washington. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. At the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, world leaders addressed various ways to combat climate change and help the environment. It was there the U.S. President Donald Trump committed to the Trillion Trees Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports a bill is currently being drafted by Representative Bruce Westerman, a Republican from Arkansas, that would set in stone the commitment to the planting of billions of trees annually. If the legislation passes, the U.S. will plant 3.3 billion trees each year over the next 30 years. Over the last few years, tree planting initiatives have increased across the world. From Ireland pledging to plant 440 million trees over the next 20 years, to Ethiopia breaking the world record by planting 350 million trees in a mere 12 hours. Chemists working with the U.S. Army are developing new uniforms that can quickly break down toxic substances, protecting troops from bioweapons, according to a report from Wired. Omar Farah's lab at Northwestern University is testing a fabric that can neutralize nerve agents. The new fabric is part of a collaborative effort between the college and the Army, which might take upwards of a decade to test and then commission as the next generation battle uniform. Activist Post reports the fabric can destroy nerve agents VX, soman, and sarin. The dangerous chemicals can be made in a biosafety level 4 laboratory, like the one found in Wuhan, China. Wired noted that the Army already has uniforms to protect troops from nerve agents, but there are no uniforms that can destroy the toxins. Jared DaCosta, a researcher with the Army who is not involved with the project, said the military has been searching for uniforms that can shield troops from bioweapons and at the same time destroy the chemicals. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Frustrated Superman fans told reporters Monday that the economically healthy and financially stable Daily Planet newspaper is now the most unrealistic aspect of the comic books universe. Acknowledging that enjoying the adventures of a superhero that can fly, lift cars over his head, and shoot beams of light out of his eyes requires some suspension of disbelief, longtime readers said even the comic's most exciting stories are regularly ruined by the implausibility of a thriving daily newspaper, whose advertising revenue and circulation numbers have not at all been threatened by a media landscape overtaken by laptops, smartphones, and aggregation websites.
Look, I could play along with Superman using his breath to freeze a volcano or clapping his hands together to cause some sort of sonic boom, but seeing images of a thriving Daily Planet newsroom not facing layoffs or dwindling home subscriptions just really takes me out of the story. No one in Metropolis has realized they could get news online faster and for free?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition. You can call us at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can join our Discord server and sound as if you're in the studio next to us at discord.lrn.fm. Yes?
That works.
All right. And with you tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
And I'm Ian.
Etienne de la Buissy, squirt.
And Etienne has been regaling us with his tale of being detained.
Arrested. There's a difference.
Kidnapped. Kidnapped is actually technically
kidnapped by
a better term.
By armed thugs in somewhat of uniforms, perhaps?
For doing nothing at all. For, having some inanimate objects in my truck. Allegedly having some inanimate objects in my truck.
I want to hear more about that, but first we're going to try Graham in Pennsylvania again. Graham, you are live on the air at Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hi. I was going to ask about the Federal Communications Commission, the regulators of radio broadcasting.
Okay,
What
ask away.
exactly would the punishment... Wait, go on.
We're waiting for you, man.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Ask your question, please.
So what exactly would the punishment be for, like, one of your hosts saying a swear word?
Well, unbeknownst to you, when we give you the our sponsors and their advertisements, we take the host out back and cane him repeatedly. 30 lashes with a wet noodle for a first offense. For a second offense, it's a little more brutal. He gets the double cane, and then I think it's kind of a 3 strikes and you're out kind of a thing. I don't know.
So to give you a more legal answer, this is not, I'm not an attorney, but as I understand it, the punishment does not exist for the hosts as much as it does the radio station owner. So radio stations can be fined by the FCC for violating whatever arbitrary commandments that they have put into place on these things. So basically, if the word slips out on the air and somebody complains about it to the FCC, then they could bring, I believe, up to $300,000 fines against the radio station owner in question. Or in the case of a syndicated show like ours, if we've got dozens of stations on, then technically all of the stations could be issued the fine.
And then, of course, as you imagine, it rolls downhill from there. If they get fined because of something that happened on our show, then, the folks carrying our show aren't going to be as inclined to carry the show, et cetera, and so on.
Yeah, there's a good chance we would get cut off that station in that particular case. So, yeah, it's pretty crappy. But that's the state of freedom of speech in the United States today.
For a single word that slipped accidentally.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean there have been some court cases surrounding the sort of so-called fleeting expletive, the idea that that it wasn't the intention to essentially to try to upset somebody or whatever, that they weren't using the word with the intention of upsetting people, etc. If it was an accident, but it usually doesn't get you out of it. And I don't know what the legal status of that is at this time. So it's best to err on the side of caution and keep those words off the air.
And Graham too. I just want to point out, because you brought it up to our other listeners, that we do comply. Obviously, we want to maintain this program on the air. We're really the most liberty-oriented program on the air, on the radio at this time. And so, we hold a special place. But mind you, these words, there's no evidence that these words have ever caused any harm to any human being. There's zero evidence that they have caused any harm to any human being. I don't know if there's any evidence that words other than maybe, you've heard the term butthurt, right? Somebody, got their feelings hurt a little bit by something somebody said to them, right? Other than that, there's no evidence that any of these words have ever caused any harm. So
yeah, I think this is one of those things where, as usual, the government gang is decades and decades behind popular, sentiment. And I think that if you talk to most people in Generation X, millennials, probably even most of the boomers, they would tell you it's not the end of the world if somebody says the F word on the radio. Like, it doesn't need to have this crazy punishment to it. Let the market decide. I mean, I think that if if the FCC disappeared tomorrow, you'd still probably see most radio would still stay clean, simply because they want to make their advertisers happy, and their advertisers don't want to unnecessarily upset people. But every now and then, once I start thinking that people are thinking sensibly, then I'm reminded that there really are some crazy people out there. I don't know if you saw the story about the moms who were supposedly upset by the Burger King commercial that had the word damn in it.
Oh,
Did you hear about this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they had it was probably fake, but they had this commercial where...
Can I do the impression of the guy?
Sure, go right ahead. Yeah, he had his mouth full, and he said, yeah, it's a damn good burger. What they were doing was they had this Impossible Burger thing, which is supposed to be vegan or something like that, or vegetarian. And anyway, so they had they opened up a special fake Burger King on Times Square somewhere in New York City, and they invited people. It didn't say Burger King on it. It had some other name, and they invited people to come and take this Impossible Burger and get their reactions, right? And so this was supposedly this guy's reaction. Whether it was real or not is a whole other question, but there was this big push by some Million Mom group, which, they don't have a million moms that care enough to complain about this, but, enough of them did complain to where they got some news media coverage acting like, their kids were in danger because somebody said damn.
Right.
The kind of filth you put on the air, you people should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, those people still exist, and I just don't know what percentage of the population they are, because they tend to be louder, I think, than your average person, so they want you to believe that they're like this really big group, and I don't know any of those people, I mean, they obviously exist. I just don't run in those circles to where somebody would be offended by the word damn. I mean, to me, that's a very childish perspective, but they exist, and that's what the FCC is pandering to, and they enforce these rules.
Hey,
those people.
Graham, you're not, from the FCC, are you?
No.
Just checking.
Thanks for the call, man. I definitely appreciate it.
All right.
So when you hit that air button, it actually locks him on the air.
Oh, really?
So you've actually locked him there.
There we go. All right. Sorry. Yeah. It's still, moments of training here for the captain. So thanks for the call again, Graham. We appreciate it. So, Etienne, we were in mid-stride talking about your fine episode with the Secret Service. Care to continue?
Yeah, I'll give some more kind of like funny anecdotes.
So you were arrested allegedly for having some ammunition in your center console.
Not just any ammunition, unregistered.
Right.
Ammunition.
I'm always registering my ammunition. I don't know about you.
They take you to the D.C. jail. You get arraigned the next morning, and I think you left off with court where
so I'll tell you. We'll get to there in a second. A couple of funny things. So originally, I'm like going off on these guys. I'm trying to be polite, and I don't like to get mad. And I realize that they're kind of mind controlled and have had all this indoctrination and these programs run on them and everything. But you get ticked when you get arrested, and so I was kind of mad.
It's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient.
They probably towed your car too.
So that was $170, and not only was it $170, but if I hadn't gotten it the next day, it's another $150 every single day. It's like a complete scam, organized crime.
Luckily,
scam.
you got out.
So I'm sitting cuffed in the back of the police car with my hands behind my back, which is very, very uncomfortable. And so
was it the hard plastic seats too?
Yeah, it was the hard plastic seats.
Yeah, the ones they can spray down in case somebody pukes or gets bloody or whatever.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there, and so being a vegan hot yogi that I am, I actually like climb out of the like twist myself and get the cuffs in the front. And so eventually they come and they get me out of the car, and they're like looking, and like my hands are now like cuffed in the front. And they're like, "How did you do that?" And I go vegan hot yogi. And one of the sergeants in the Secret Service, there was two sergeants there. One of them was evil. One of them was like cool. The cool one's like, he was a little overweight. He's like, hot yoga. He's like taking notes. Like, he's like, I want to get some of that.
That is fantastic. Have you ever escaped, police handcuffs using hot yoga techniques? Call us and tell us about it here on Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More coming up.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition. You can call and talk about whatever you want. You can bring up any topic. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That is 855-450-3733. Or you can join us on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
And I'm Ian.
And Etienne de la Boissy, squared.
And we've been talking about many things, but I also wanted to tell you about Edge Wallet. Either for the iOS or the Android, it is available. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies. It's completely user-controlled. You own your money, and it is a password-protected wallet as opposed to one where you need to, memorize an incredibly long and drawn-out phrase, etc., and so on. So it's, as far as user adoption is concerned, it's incredibly easy. I use it at least, 5 times a week, I guess, now. There are so many awesome places in Keene that are now accepting cryptocurrency, and that number grows every day, and Edge Wallet is helping me do that. It supports Bitcoin Cash, BTC, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. One of my favorite features is the in-wallet exchange. So if you need to, transduce one type of cryptocurrency into another, you can do it right in the wallet. It takes only seconds to do, and it's pretty cool. The veteran team behind Edge Wallet has been building since 2014 with the tagline, Secure Your Freedom. And you can find out more at edge.app. That's edge.app. So we have been talking with Etienne. He's been regaling us with tales of his kidnapping by the government goons, the gang of thugs known as the Secret Service.
Yeah. So a couple more kind of like funny anecdotes. So we get to the district police station in Washington, D.C., and we're met by two now plainclothes Secret Service agents, the protective detail.
So the Secret Service has taken you
uniformed
DC,
Secret Service
into the D.C. police station?
District 2, yeah.
So they do the processing for the Secret Service too?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
So it was a DC law that I violated. So the unregulated ammunition.
Got it.
So now we meet two plainclothes Secret Service agents that are part of the protective detail, and because I was arrested right outside of the White House with
ammunition,
with bullets, right? They want to know. So the funny thing is, they like we're just here to make sure that you didn't want to do harm to the president. And I start laughing, and I go, the president? I go, that dude doesn't make any decisions. I go, that guy's a puppet, man. He has to wear a blue suit and a red tie and go around kiss babies. You guys know that, right? And so then I explain I'd explained for 20 plus minutes, how organized crime runs the government and the media to the two uniformed Secret Service agents. And so now I've got two new members of the, White House protective detail. So I start going into the criminality of the government too. And everybody's looking at their shoes like they already know that this is organized crime. And I'm I got to tell you, I'm convinced, by interacting with all these Secret Service agents, that they know what's going on to some degree or another. They know, like they've seen it. They've seen, criminality going on in the White House. They've seen they've seen like the Secret Service agents, during the Fence Foster case that got reprimanded and punished for telling that Hillary was removing files from the office right after, they got killed. So they've seen this criminality like up close and personal. So I'm convinced that they know what's going on.
Do you find that their attitude is more of like, yeah, we know, but what are you going to do? Or,
got to put the kids through school.
Yeah, it's a job. We're collecting a paycheck. It's absolutely like, that's how evil. That is how evil gets done. Too. Yeah, it's a sweet paycheck, and that's how they get
nice
serve 20 years. Yeah, pension is they get people to do evil things for money.
Yep.
I mean, that's how slavery exists on this planet. Is that there are people that are willing to do bad things and set their morality aside for money.
If the taskmaster wasn't sitting back on the horse with a whip, it would have been a heck of a lot harder to keep the slaves in the fields.
Right.
But taskmaster needed to eat.
So anyway, so now I'm in the DC jail, like, talking to them. So now we go into kind of like the processing of everything, and they have it down to a science. So like I mentioned before the break, there's 50 plus of us that are going to be gang arraigned in court. And they're processing us with the federal marshals that work, the U.S. Marshal Service that works in this kind of courthouse complex in D.C. And they have it down to they've got it down to, being able to move 50 people through the process to where they pull you into court and they back you into court and they don't let you turn around. So
That's weird.
The judge is kind of like over here on the left, and they're literally, and every time
you're walking in backwards.
You're walking in backwards. Okay.
With 49 other people or whatever?
No, like groups of 4 or 6 at a time.
Okay,
and they're like walking you backwards, and then they arraign one person, and then it only takes like a couple of minutes to do like the arraignment, and then you take another step backwards, and then that arraignment, and then you take another step backwards, and they do the next arraignment, and then you get kind of even with, and then you slide over, and now it's your turn. And so I'm like, and every time I like try and turn around to see what's going on in the courtroom behind me, they're like, don't turn around, they're like don't turn. So then finally it gets to my part. And I like slide over, and this guy appears. He's like, "Hey, I'm your attorney." And it's like instant attorney, and he's like, He goes, the defendant, pleads the Fifth Amendment and da-da-da-da, and boom, and that's it. And then, they reschedule my trial for March 11th, and then,
Was this the equivalent of the D.C. public defender?
Yeah, I guess. So they asked me, how much I made, in the pre-trial thing, they asked me how much I made, and I gave a range, and they're like, we'll give you a free one. And so, since they've inconvenienced me and,
Yeah, you got to go back now.
Yeah, I got to go back and everything.
Oh, man.
So you're facing up to a year in jail over this.
Is that what it says?
I'm guessing. If it's a misdemeanor, that's pretty typical for misdemeanors. Not always true, but, I mean, they have, here in New Hampshire, and again, just because it's here in New Hampshire doesn't mean it's the same in D.C., they got 2 levels of misdemeanors here. Mm-hmm. So they may have different levels of misdemeanor in D.C., so you'd have to look at your, whatever the complaint paperwork they gave you and see what it says as far as what the level of misdemeanor
I'll tell you, so this is another funny thing. So I saw some of the paperwork, and the paperwork actually says, because there's a space for who the victim was.
Yeah.
And the victim actually says society.
Oh, really?
It does. Society was the victim.
Society was the victim.
I heard society.
Can you call society onto the stand and question? Because you have a right to question,
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to question my victim.
Oh,
I call all of society to the stand.
It was brilliant. One final thing I want to say. This is the perfect thing. So when I got arrested and I saw the paperwork, I had $185 on me. And so I saw the court paperwork, and I that there was $185 was part of my property and everything, and so they let you out. My attorney loans me $20 so that I can cab over to get my my truck and get my possessions. And I show up at precinct 2, and I say, hey, here's my money, and I go, I want here to pick up my possessions, and they come back and they've got my wallet, but there's no money in it. And I'm like, where's all the money? And I'm like, I saw the paperwork and there's money. She's like, no, there's no money or whatever. I go, well, she goes, who arrested you?
Hold that story.
The government's taking your money. More coming up on Free Talk Live.
It's a cliffhanger. What do you see what happened?
450 free. Stay tuned to hear more from
Don't
Etienne.
miss this year's Liberty Con with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. Do you like freedom? I like freedom. A lot of folks often ask, Captain, what can we do about the state of freedom? Well, the first thing you got to do is talk about it, and that's why we're here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's myself, L. Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Ian.
Etienne de la Buissy squared.
And we're going to continue with Etienne's tales, and we have some more information that we were looking up moments ago. It's not good news, but pertaining to the adventures of Etienne and his arrest by the Secret Service.
I told you shouldn't have left New Hampshire.
This is what happens when you leave the Free State.
But before we go on, I want to tell you...
I want to go to Florida. Okay.
We have a Liberty update from LibertyCon. Don't miss these two very special debates. First, is government necessary? This debate will feature David Friedman, yes, that's Milton Friedman's son, and Timothy Sandefur. David will be arguing that government isn't necessary, while Timothy will be arguing that government is necessary. I always enjoy these types of debates. They're usually a lot of fun, and I usually learn something that I didn't know already. The second one is, does capitalism require government intervention? In this debate, Gene Epstein, the economics editor for Barron's, will debate Stephen Pearlstein of the Washington Post. Epstein will argue against intervention, and Pearlstein will argue in favor of it. Also, John Mackey, Whole Foods CEO, will speak on conscious capitalism. Be a part of LibertyCon. LibertyCon is a unique Liberty convention, April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C., where Etienne will, again tell us about his adventures. For people
they kicked me out of LibertyCon.
Really?
Yeah, it's a controlled opposition thing.
In Washington, D.C., for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for career advancement, business, or internship opportunities. Visit libertycon.com for more details on our incredible list of speakers, events, and student discounts. That's libertycon.com. Use code FTL, as in Free Talk Live, for a $10 discount.
So, Etienne, you got arrested in D.C. a couple weeks ago by the Secret Service, allegedly for having ammunition. Now,
unregistered.
Now,
unregistered ammunition.
The alleged ammunition was allegedly in your center console, in the center console of the vehicle.
I'm sorry. I have to ask, why didn't you just register your ammunition when you showed up in D.C.?
There should be like a little
there wasn't a sign
stop
on the side of the road that was like, you must register your ammunition.
Obviously he read every law book before he decided to go visit a place. I mean, that's what everybody does, right? Is just read through tomes and tomes of just absolutely illegible, impossible to process laws before they go visit somewhere.
Yeah, indeed. I was reading that there are more laws on the books than a human being or a group of human beings can count, and people have tried.
You couldn't read it in a lifetime.
And it's so that they can selectively enforce on you.
Sure.
So they can arrest you at any time. They can fine you for anything.
Right.
Like every time the police pull you over, like they're just sitting there like, how do we arrest this guy? What can we get him on? Like they were trying to arrest me. They were trying to arrest me, and then they like finally found something for them to arrest me.
And I might be mistaken, but like new laws are being added at a pretty good clip too. Something like 60 or 80,000 more laws a year.
There's 900 proposed laws this year alone in just New Hampshire.
Yeah. Yeah, so now multiply that by 50 states and every year, and then you've got county
and then federal
and all that on top of it, right? So anyway, I digress.
So you were telling us like some of the fun jail / court stories.
A couple more funny anecdotes, and then we can kind of like move on. But so as I was saying, when I go to get my property, I had $185 in cash on me. And so I show up at the police station, and there's a policewoman there, and I give her, my receipt, and I say, I'm here to pick up my property. And she comes back with a bag, and it had my wallet in it. It had a bunch of cards in it and everything like that. And I'm like, well, I had $185. Do you know where my $185 is? She's like, no, that's all that there was. And I'm like, no, I saw the paperwork, at the thing.
They checked it in.
It actually said it had $185.
Now, I would not be surprised to hear that the government took your money.
Well,
because
normally they're going to take
that's their habit, right?
Normally they're going to take it before they put it on the itinerary.
Right.
So if the corruption's going to happen, it's going to be they grab it and then it never gets listed.
So this was the other kind of interesting thing is that so then I'm sitting here going it was on the sheet, and she's like, well, who arrested you? Like, what was the name of the arresting officer? And I go, it was the Secret Service. And all of a sudden her face changes, and she's like, hold on a second. And like when she realized it wasn't it was the Secret Service and there might be a real investigation, she goes into the back and she comes back. She's, oh, we found it. There's the 185.
Funny.
They had a special section in the property locker for just the Secret Service where they put money for some reason.
So hold on, let's rewind a little bit here. Dude. How did you end up getting out? Was there a PR bond? Did you pay cash bail?
No, they don't have a PR. They don't have cash bail, and they don't have cash bail in DC, and so they just kind of like let everybody, they just like catch. It's like a catch and release thing, and so they just like after this. Factory automated arraignment process where they're moving you through like boom, 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 boom. It's like you're gone. And then the only thing that you can do is the little jail bracelet they give you will get you on the buses and the metro for free. And then you're like,
really?
That's how it works.
Well, that's awfully nice of
that
them.
Is surprising. Actually.
I'll tell you the coolest thing that happened. The coolest thing that happened is I walked out and there was a group there. And they were giving released prisoners like water and cigarettes and food and snacks and everything like that. And my attorney had given me, he'd loaned me $20. And so I paid one of the guys like $15 to call an Uber. And then I just said, hey, you guys keep the other $5 to, Uber me to where and give it to somebody else, apply it to, this is really cool what y'all are doing. Yeah,
nice.
Paid it forward. But
well done.
It was called iWalk. I think the program was called iWalk.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it like more of a released on your own recognizance type of thing, or?
I guess they let me go. I guess they were.
And you didn't have to pay. You didn't have to pay
well, I had to pay the $175. So it was like it was like $170 to get the car out.
Well, there was that. Yeah.
And then there was like $20 that I for the Uber and.
So the next court date for you is in March.
March 11th.
And that is going to be what, like a pretrial hearing, or is that the actual trial?
I think it's the actual trial.
You should find that out.
I should look into this. I got some stuff going on though.
Because there's a lot of times where there's always these pretrial hearings. So it may not even be the trial. It may be that they go in and then they make a presentation to the judge to justify the charges or whatever. I don't know what it's like in DC. Because again, every court system is different state to state. So that would be a question for your attorney, or to check your paperwork to see if it actually says trial on there or if it says something else.
I should do that. I was thinking about sending the judge a copy of my book.
You should, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you should do that before the trial or after, because they tend to get a little upset if you try to contact the judge during like the proceedings, basically.
Is that another law?
There's another
law.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm not an attorney, so that's not legal advice. But
speaking of not being an attorney, you had some stuff you looked up. Now, again, not an attorney, but like we looked at potential. Yeah.
Well, I'd asked.
What's he looking at?
I'd asked Etienne the question of, is this a year in jail? Because typically, when you hear misdemeanor, that usually means it's either going to be a fine or it's going to be a fine and some jail time, up to usually a year. But in D.C., they take possession of ammunition pretty seriously, according to their so-called code, which, of course, is so named because it's labyrinthine and difficult to figure out what it actually means.
Right, and for our listeners that might not be aware, Washington, D.C. is not a state.
That's right.
In the sense of a word, so you might travel around to different states within the, quote, United States, unquote. But Washington, D.C.
is its own animal.
Is its own... It's almost its own country, really. It's kind of like the Vatican in that respect, where it's like it's a separate thing with its own set of rules and laws that differs from the rest of the states.
So, I'll tell you what I found here as far as potential penalties for having ammunition without all the permission slips that they want you to have in the District of Criminals.
Okay. Tell us about that coming up. You can also call in and tell us what you think. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's freetalklive.com, the live Saturday edition. More coming up.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-301-5435. That's 800-301-5435. 800-301-5435.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
In local news, 23-year-old graffiti artist Adam Zane has captured the heart of 19-year-old college sophomore Jessica Tisselow. Zane, who goes by the graffiti handle Slice, met Tisselow last summer at an annoyingly self-aware dive bar where the talentless artist caught Tisselow's eye with his cliched sleeve tattoos of trite Japanese imagery and the fact that he was wearing a winter hat indoors in the middle of June.
His art is really just the absolute worst. I think we're going to get married someday.
And now for This Week in Tech, brought to you by LG. An excited groom sends text messages to his buddies during his bride's vows, and a collection of VHS tapes are held onto for 1 more year. In other news, a burglar makes sure to crack the glass on a family portrait before leaving. There's nothing in the employee handbook about groping dead co-workers, an employee says, and a report finds that nobody's heard from David Blaine in a while, so somebody should probably check to see if he died in one of those things. Mere seconds have passed, yet we feel as though we've known you 1,000 lifetimes. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live listen line, 641-793-0191.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday night edition. Call in and take control of the show. You can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
Etienne de la Boissy. Squared.
There it is. Squared. The second? No, squared. What?
Squared. Well, so I use the exponent. So I use like an exponent.
Does that mean you exist multidimensionally?
It means that I'm more than twice as powerful as the original Etienne de la Boissy because I have information technology.
Very well. All right.
I'm Etienne de la Boissy on information technology.
All right. Well done. Well said. And so you were regaling us with some fine tales of your adventures with the Secret Service. And Ian was looking up, now we're not lawyers, so this isn't legal advice in any way, shape, or form, but he was looking up what you might be potentially facing as far as the charges are concerned. And
the charge of possession of unregistered ammunition in Washington, D.C., where there were allegedly several bullets found in a truck that also contained you. Now, whether or not that means you were in possession of those bullets, I think is an interesting question. And that would be, one of the questions I would ask the attorney is, what does it mean to have possession of a thing? Just because you're driving a truck doesn't mean you know what everyone who's been in that truck has left in that truck.
That's a fact.
If somebody leaves a bag of drugs in the passenger seat, you didn't know it was there. Does that mean that it's your responsibility because it's within your reach? I don't know what what are the definitions of these things. All these stupid government laws have all kinds of ridiculous definitions. They can redefine words to mean things that they don't, that you don't think that they mean. But according to Section 7-2507.06, the penalties section of the various different firearms-related charges in D.C., a person convicted of possessing a single restricted pistol bullet. So you have one bullet. You shall be fined not more than the amount set forth in some other section, or imprisoned for not more than 1 year, or both.
1 year or a fine for one bullet.
That's for one bullet. But a person convicted of possessing more than one restricted pistol bullet in violation of the relevant section may be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not to exceed 10 years and shall be sentenced to imprisonment for a mandatory minimum term of not less than a year and shall not be released from prison or granted probation or suspension of sentence prior to serving the mandatory minimum sentence, and in addition may be fined not more than the amount set forth in something or other.
A dime? 10 years? A decade?
10
a decade
years.
For does the language imply
you got two bullets?
More than one, right?
Yeah.
So if you have two or more bullets, you're looking at a dime?
A minimum of a year. Minimum.
Wow.
Maximum of 10. Now, again, that presumes that there's not going to be some sort of a plea deal offered, and there usually is, right? So when when you're facing criminal charges in various different court systems, they don't actually want to go to trial. They don't actually want to do the work, and so they always...
It's not a real trial. There's no jury. So they told me that there's no jury. It's just the judge.
For a misdemeanor with up to 10 years in prison?
That's what they told me.
Oh, man.
I know. It's complete organized crime. This is what is so wrong with government, and this is why I wrote the book, Government, the Biggest Scam in History Exposed. I mean, this is how we're going to rob society. This is how we're going to control society. We're going to make things illegal that aren't really crimes.
By we, you mean them, because I'm not interested.
Government is going to make things illegal that aren't really crimes to be able to rob and control society and have this hammer over everybody where they can selectively enforce or not enforce on their friends, and it's I'm just sick of it, and that's why I'm exposing it with the book. And the whole idea of the book and the flash drives that we do is taking all of the evidence of government's illegitimacy and criminality and making it easy for the layman to understand by using the historical photos, the media ownership charts, the organizational charts, so you can actually see and understand how you're being robbed. And so now, coming up on the 14th, we're relaunching the book. The book has now been read. So the original it's understanding. It was originally titled understandingourslavery.com. You can go to understandingourslavery.com to download a preview copy or to be able to order the book. But the purpose is, how do you take somebody from 0 to 60 and to where they don't understand these concepts to now they understand, hey, this government is organized crime. This is illegitimate. They're robbing and controlling the population using government as a technique. That's what we're exposing in the book. That's what we're exposing with the flash drives. And this is a perfect example of why it has to be stopped. Because if you can throw somebody in jail for 10 years for nothing, that hasn't hurt anybody, that hasn't done anything, they can take everybody that's listening to my voice. They can arrest you. They can take your car. They can throw you into jail for anything that they want to make up. It's all BS, and it just has to stop. And so that's why we're exposing at the Art of Liberty Foundation.
Thank
you for that.
That's great stuff. Yeah, and thanks. Thanks for the book too. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
We gonna go to your calls now. We have Larry in Richmond, Virginia. Larry, you are live on the air at Free Talk Live.
Great. First time listener. Great show. I had a random thought when I heard what your show talking about. We were all talking.
Can you, quick, Larry, can you just make sure that you're talking directly into the microphone? We're having a little bit of
Absolutely. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the topics I've been very curious about for years, I'm a big sports fan, and in Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, there has been mandatory statutes that have been put down from owners and players and so forth that you have to have a certain number of ethnic people in your organization in order to comply. Example, a few years back they made it mandatory that you had to have a certain number of African American coaches in the NFL. So they made it over a few years that even if you weren't qualified or you were being brought up through the ranks, you were given a position of coach or assistant coach or offensive coach.
Right, and there's another example there. I believe it's called the Rooney Rule, and that is when there is a coaching vacancy, specifically the NFL I'm talking about, when there's a coaching vacancy that they must interview at least one minority candidate. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And no, I've heard something similar to that, and I think you're 100% on with that. One of the things that bothers me is I actually heard Rush Limbaugh today mention in a commentary that the NFL now is anywhere from 70 to 75% African American. So how did it go from we just want to be equal with the minorities in the NFL with coaches, at least maybe let's say 25% to half minorities, players and coaches, to suddenly now it's 75% players, and I think the thing is 45% coaches. When are we going to make it equal where it's 50-50 or at least something similar to that? Why does it have to be 75%? Why aren't we bringing it back the other way around? Am I not being politically correct when I ask that question?
I don't really know if political correctness even comes into the question. I think the real question for me is, why is it anybody except the individual organizations, that is each team, why is it anybody else's responsibility to force them to do anything? I mean, this is an entertainment entity, right? Each team is their own entity, and then they all, cooperate within the larger league itself, and that applies to, most sports, right, as far as the professional ones are concerned, and even like the college sports and even the mom and pops, your little league teams and that kind of a thing. They're all kind of the same. I don't understand why it's the government's job to make sure that folks are doing things that are 50-50 or fair or whatever it is. Why can't these organizations just deem for themselves who is the most qualified for each position, whether it's a player, a coach, an administrative person, the filmographer, the audio guy with the shotgun mic on the side of the sidelines. I don't understand why that's any government's business at all.
I agree 100%, and I'm all about equal rights and moving forward with the nation's point of view on equal rights. But when it's gone so much more to the left than to the right, and now it's suddenly more minorities than what's considered not minorities in any sports field, how can that be? What rights does let's say a Caucasian or a Latino have to push the issue we want now? We want 30% Latinos in there. How do you fix that? What's the answer?
Yeah, thanks for the call tonight, Larry. I don't know what the answer is, and my guess is that it got that way due to government interference. We'll take more of your calls coming up, 855-450 free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,567, silver at $17.83, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,730. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on Tuesday, A House committee approved a bill to put a 3-year ban or moratorium on the use of facial recognition for surveillance or any other purposes by the state and its political subdivisions. Passage into law would represent an important first step towards protecting privacy and rejecting the national surveillance state. Activist Post reports a coalition of 3 Democrats introduced House Bill 2856 January 27th. The legislation would put a 3-year ban on the use of facial recognition by government in Washington state. If passed into law, state and local government agencies would be prohibited from obtaining, retaining, requesting, accessing, or using any facial recognition technology or any information obtained from or by use of facial recognition technology. Additionally, any information obtained from or by the use of facial recognition would be barred from being used as evidence in any trial or other proceeding before a court or other authority subject to the jurisdiction of Washington. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. At the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, world leaders addressed various ways to combat climate change and help the environment. It was there the U.S. President Donald Trump committed to the Trillion Trees Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports a bill is currently being drafted by Representative Bruce Westerman, a Republican from Arkansas, that would set in stone the commitment to the planting of billions of trees annually. If the legislation passes, the U.S. will plant 3.3 billion trees each year over the next 30 years. Over the last few years, tree planting initiatives have increased across the world. From Ireland pledging to plant 440 million trees over the next 20 years, to Ethiopia breaking the world record by planting 350 million trees in a mere 12 hours. Chemists working with the U.S. Army are developing new uniforms that can quickly break down toxic substances, protecting troops from bioweapons, according to a report from Wired. Omar Farah's lab at Northwestern University is testing a fabric that can neutralize nerve agents. The new fabric is part of a collaborative effort between the college and the Army, which might take upwards of a decade to test and then commission as the next generation battle uniform. Activist Post reports the fabric can destroy nerve agents VX, soman, and sarin. The dangerous chemicals can be made in a biosafety level 4 laboratory, like the one found in Wuhan, China. Wired noted that the Army already has uniforms to protect troops from nerve agents, but there are no uniforms that can destroy the toxins. Jared DaCosta, a researcher with the Army who is not involved with the project, said the military has been searching for uniforms that can shield troops from bioweapons and at the same time destroy the chemicals. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Pushed to the breaking point after constantly being taken to task without ever hearing a word of thanks for what it does around here, an overwhelmed and infuriated nation announced in February that it was trying, okay? Jesus Christ. A poll of the American populace revealed that 33% felt they were doing pretty damned well, thank you, while another 28% just wanted 2 freaking minutes without somebody breathing down their neck.
We're trying as hard as we can here. How about cutting some little slack for a change, huh? You know what? This is just bullshit. I do not need this shit.
Christ Almighty, sources added. God distanced himself from the entire right-wing fundamentalist Christian movement, saying that he did not believe pregnancies result from his divine will. The Almighty Father went on to dismiss capital punishment, gun rights, the anti-abortion movement, and the efforts of the Westboro Baptist Church, while adding that he and Christian conservatives, quote, no longer saw eye to eye on the majority of issues. And physicists discovered that the entirety of our known universe is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yes, it's the live Saturday night edition of Free Talk Live. We're broadcasting live on over 200 radio stations, satellites, and, of course, the internet. You can call in and talk about, well, whatever you like. It's called Free Talk Live. I don't think we have all 200 on Saturday nights. I think that it's 200 over the whole week, but it would not be true to say that they're all on right now. What did I say?
Over 200 stations.
Oh, well, I mean, okay.
In this moment, not true. Just saying.
You
didn't know.
Thanks,
You didn't know. So it wasn't a lie when you said it. But now that you know, if you say it again, it will be.
Free Talk Live.
No pressure.
Anyway, as I was saying, you can call in and talk about whatever you like. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. But first, I wanted to tell you about the next generation wallet that's coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. And Ian, you said you had some more information about what potential things a guy might face if he is caught with a bullet in the District of Criminals.
Well, okay, so Etienne, who's our guest host here tonight, was caught. Now, whether he was actually in possession of these things is another question. But the police allege that there were bullets in the truck that he was driving in D.C. a couple weeks ago. And based on my non-lawyerly research here and looking at the code, it suggests that if you have more than one bullet, you could face up to 10 years in prison in D.C. and a minimum of a year. Now, if you have just one bullet, then it's up to a year. At least that's the way I'm reading this penalty provision. So I went and I looked to see, what's been in the news, what kind of cases have caught the eye of the news media about this. And there's one guy who had his home raided in D.C. in just a horrible situation, terrifying him and his family. They charged him with possession of ammunition. He had a box of muzzle loader bullets, according to FoxNews.com. He had an inert shotgun shell and I think one other bullet. So he had more than one bullet, and he ended up with, and this was 2014, mind you, so half a decade ago. So they could have changed the laws and made them even more stringent since then. That's one thing I'm not clear on. But ultimately, he ended up with a $50 fine and was forced to register his, go down to the police station and jump through whatever hoops that they had to.
Here's my box of ammo. Yeah. Let me fill out your form. Here's the $20 or whatever it is for the cost of the form.
And it says he went to trial, so it doesn't sound like this was a part of a plea deal. So it's not real clear to me how that will affect the charges today that Etienne may be facing in March. Again, if they've made the laws more stringent since then this may not be relevant. Maybe this was a plea deal and it's just not clear to me, but it said here that he had demanded his trial, so I presume that he went through with it, although it's not unheard of for somebody to demand a trial and then at the last minute take a plea, and there's nothing wrong with that ultimately. I mean, even though I'm generally against the idea of plea deals,
right,
in the moment, for the individual, it can make sense. Like, if they offer you a plea deal, Etienne, and say, all right, look, you plead guilty, you pay $500 fine, and we'll call it a day, and you're on probation for a year, you have to leave D.C. or whatever, going to prison for 10 years, it's probably a better option, but who knows what they'll offer you.
Assuming that you've been arrested previously for something.
That is a good question. Do you have a criminal conviction record?
Just drunken shenanigans in my youth.
So nothing with guns, nothing with ammo,
and anything
violence?
in D.C. prior?
No.
Okay.
All right.
That may bode well.
Like my policy on like demanding the trial is generally related to geography and then time and then finance, right? Probably in that order, right? So if I'm, 3 states out and, I get a ticket for something, odds are I'm not demanding the trial.
Right.
I'll probably not even pay the ticket, particularly if I don't plan to return to that state. But
Sure.
if I do, then I'm paying the ticket. I'm not But if it's a local thing, right?
Yep.
Then I'm going to demand the trial.
I'll go to trial on a parking ticket.
Yeah.
Is that
And I have.
Is that your perspective as well?
Yeah, so I've done it too. I mean, I've stood up in court. I've stood up in court and pointed out the illogic of victimless crimes and even like speeding tickets and I've stood there and I've explained to like the judge. My understanding is that we're supposed to save fuel in the 70s and these speeds are artificially low and it is a complete scam in DC of how are we going to steal your money.
Yeah.
And the police, like one of the things I love about being in New Hampshire is there's almost no police compared to where I live. Where I live, they're like locusts, and they're just all over raising revenue on the population. It's a oppressive police state. It's they're robbing the people, and then they're giving themselves these exorbitant salaries, these exorbitant pensions, these exorbitant benefits. From the people they're living off of the blood they're sucking out of the people. It is absolutely it's got to stop. We just got to stop it.
Agreed. Let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We have Bobby calling from Tampa, Florida. Bobby, you're live on the air on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, I've really been enjoying it. I've been gone for 75 days. I've been in jail, and I think the show's been real interesting tonight, learning about the DC federal misdemeanors and the lockup story. The conversation's flowing really natural. Captain Kit Butt, you're doing really nice. You're relaxed.
Thanks,
man. Most all the buttons right. Ian, you're like a boss, chiming in, moving things along, taking on callers to throw some curveballs. I think it's a really, really good dynamic that I haven't seen in a while. I've been gone and in jail, but I really enjoy it. I think you guys are doing a superb job.
Did you say you've been in jail? You kind of dipped out. Your audio dipped out there. You said you've been.
Yes.
What'd they put you in for?
I got a criminal mischief charge. I was at a kegger, and this girl, she fell asleep in like this couch sofa thing, and so me and a couple other guys, we picked it up and we threw it in the pool, and she woke up and it was the couch and herself in the pool. And cops got called, and the owners of the house were pretty upset. I wish they would have just let us pay for it, but the cops actually arrested 4 of us and charged us with a criminal mischief. So I wasn't going to do.
So you took somebody else's couch and threw it in the pool with someone
somebody
on it.
Yeah, with a chick that was passed out on it. It's not very.
Pretty dumb.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
I did 75 days for it.
Wow.
That sounds like college party antics,
But yeah, I do agree with you, Bobby, that you should have been given the option to just simply make things right. Because sitting in jail for 75 days doesn't make anybody whole. I mean, it was part of the sentence that you had to pay for the couch, or was it just you go to prison and that's the end of that?
Well, I got 90 days, and I got 5 days for a gang time for 3 months, so it was 15 days off that. And then, yeah, each of us had to pay like $150 toward the couch.
Did that even cover the cost of the couch?
That couch wasn't worth even $50. It was like an old crap couch.
That's why you threw it in the pool. I gotcha.
He was cleaning it.
Hey, thanks for sharing the story,
All right,
man.
guys, take it easy.
All right, thanks for
Thanks,
calling,
man.
Bobby. Appreciate it. So I wanted to. I've put. Well, I guess we'll talk about it when
Talk
we.
about what?
I wanted to talk about Corey Feldman's documentary exposing Hollywood's pedophile ring, to be aired soon. We'll talk about that coming up. You can also call in and tell us your thoughts at 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live, freetalklive.com, and you can find us on Discord at discord.lrn.fm.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, the live, coming at you live Saturday edition. Our toll-free number here, of course, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
And Ian.
And Etienne de la Boissy squared.
And we've been talking about a lot of things, but I also wanted to tell you about Liberty.menu. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one, Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network so that you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. And we've been talking about a lot of things, but I had another article about another documentary that I've been paying attention to, and it is also going to be released very soon. Some of you folks are familiar with the claim that Corey Feldman has made to expose Hollywood's pedophile ring. And there's some news on that. The headline reads, Corey Feldman's new documentary exposing Hollywood's pedophile ring will be aired only once. Actor Corey Feldman's new documentary called My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys, which is set to release on March 9th, is touted to be a provocative expose where the musician and one-time teen idol will reveal the details of the most emotionally trying period of his life. However, there's a catch for the much-anticipated documentary. Viewers will only get one chance to watch the film. Reports state that... reports state that, and I don't know how that's going to work because I imagine somebody's going to record it in some way, shape, or form, and it'll be available on, file sharing sites. Come on. Reports state that the film will air only once, and interested viewers across the world will have to watch it at the same time. The documentary will stream live at 8 p.m. on the West Coast, which means 11 p.m. on the East Coast. Feldman, his family, friends, and colleagues will also be watching the live stream at the same time in a private screening. Feldman, in a statement, said that he is keeping a promise through the film to his best friend, the late Canadian actor Corey Haim, to reveal to the world about what really happened to the two of them when they were young actors in Hollywood. Feldman had long promised an expose of high-profile celebrities in Hollywood who engage in pedophilia and continue to be working in the entertainment industry. Feldman and his wife, Courtney Ann Feldman, recently shared a video of the release date and detailed how the documentary has been in the works for at least 3 years. E-tickets will go on sale on February 22nd. Feldman said an innovative new technology and platform will be used to launch the film. Mind you, they don't tell us what this platform is. This is the first time ever a movie has been shown in this type of platform, according to MovieWeb.com.
Okay, so he's trying to cash in here. He's selling tickets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if he wants to really take the veil off or throw the covers off the secrets of Hollywood, why not just put it out there,
right?
For people. And I'm not saying there won't be like dirty dirt information that's revealed, shocking allegations or whatever, maybe some evidence, who knows? But this is I don't know. It kind of feels weird to me.
Yeah, it does seem very conspicuous.
Sounds like a gimmick.
That's and even this article about its release seems like
it's a puff piece.
It's a puff piece.
Yeah.
It's a tease.
Sign up now for your tickets. Don't miss the one chance you'll have to see this movie before it disappears.
Sunday.
Right?
How much is it? How much is he looking for?
Well, although the pricing of the event has not yet been announced, Feldman said that it'll be the same price as an average movie ticket and will range between $15 and $20. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure a movie's like $8, right?
It depends on where you are. Here in Keene, New Hampshire, you can get them for like $8 or $9. But if you're in the big city,
it's going to be like $13 or
something. They've actually lowered the price on 3D because people don't care about 3D, and it's not a real draw. But if you're in the big city, you might pay $15 for a movie ticket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No advanced screenings or early reviews of the documentary have been scheduled, as Feldman does not want his narrative and message to be twisted. It is not yet clear if even a trailer or any footage from the film will be revealed beforehand. The actor added that he is not attempting to profit from the endeavor and that he nearly did not go through with it. Reports state that even Netflix turned down the documentary because they felt the film's contents were too dangerous to be associated with. So the film, My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys, will premiere on March 9th at 8 p.m. Pacific time. The film's releasing on the eve of the 10th anniversary of Corey Haim's death.
Yeah, I mean, look, as somebody who has actually been involved in the production of a documentary, I had the pleasure of being the executive producer for Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, which you can watch for free online anytime.
Great documentary, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Over at victimlesscrimespree.com. I don't get any credit for how great the documentary was because I just helped bankroll it, but I helped promote it. But it was a great documentary, and we wanted people to see it, so we put it out there free on the internet. Now, we did end up making a DVD version, so if you wanted to buy a physical copy, you could. But, the YouTube version of the original release has received over 170,000 views on YouTube. Now, that doesn't mean they all watched the whole thing. There's a whole other question of how many of them got through the full hour-and-a-half long documentary. But, it seemed like if Corey wanted people to see this thing, then he would allow it to be viewed after the fact. Even if he still wanted to charge a ticket price,
right,
you could still, put it on like Amazon Video or something like that, one of these platforms where you have to pay in order to see the video, but then it's still available after the first viewing. I mean, this whole claim that it's only going to be available one time, I don't know if I can believe that claim. I mean, this is the year 2020. The idea that you would have this sort of ethereal, disappearing viewing, it just doesn't make any sense.
I'm with you as a technologist or a guy who's been employed, in technology for well over 20 years now. I'm that old. Yes, it's true. Anything that happens on my screen, I can capture. Right, audio, video, whatever it is.
Yeah, they have streaming capture programs.
Yeah, any kind of media that happens on any screen that I'm in control of, I can go out, download some freeware, and capture it in some way, shape, or form. So the claims are a little boisterous. I'm with you on that.
It'll be on Popcorn Time 5 minutes later.
And sites like the Pirate Bay will have it, in 5 minutes or, at least the next day for certain.
Well, I certainly hope so because, I would want someone to see the movie, not just the first crowd of whoever shows up the one night for the one official presentation. What's he thinking? I mean,
I don't know.
Is that even believable? Does anybody actually buy that claim?
I was just surprised because, he came out, saying, hey, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to expose the pedophiles. And then, I never heard about it for, a long time. And then all of a sudden,
he was making a documentary.
It's done, and now we're going to do a thing. No, there's no trailer.
No trailer?
No trailer, at least not as of yet. So,
what?
Call us and tell us your thoughts about this documentary at 855-450-FREE like freedom. Do you think he's going to expose the Hollywood pedophilia ring? More coming up.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. Your favorite radio program, broadcasting from our studios here in Keene, New Hampshire. 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. We have talked about, a whole bunch of stuff. We've talked about the Hollywood pedophilia ring. We've talked about getting arrested in the District of Criminals by the Secret Service. We've talked about Etienne's book, Government, the Biggest Scam in History.
How do you order the book?
So I've got a brand new website coming up from the good folks at Autonomite.
It is online or not yet?
It is. So if you go to understandingoursslavery.com,
that's the old title.
That's the old one. We're transitioning to government-scam.com.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, if you go to understandingoursslavery.com, you can get like a little sneak peek just for your audience. We got the site up just kind of at the last minute to be able to see the new site with the new cover.
Very exciting.
Nice. Yeah. That is awesome. We're going to go right to your
Thank you,
calls.
Autonomite.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to go right to your calls and your thoughts. Let's go to Baghdad Bob. Baghdad Bob, you are live on the air at Free Talk Live.
Real quick, Etienne, if I may say about Derek J's narcissistic crimes.
Okay, and we're going to go right to your calls, and we're going to go right to George in North Carolina. George, you are live on freetalklive.com.
Hi, I got a statement to make. So,
okay, go ahead. But before you do, just make sure you're talking directly into your phone. It sounds like you might be on a cell phone, so we just want to make sure we hear your statement. Yep, that's perfect. Go ahead.
All right. So this is in regard to you all laughing like schoolgirls about the last caller destroying someone else's personal property, yet you're all about personal property, as long as it fits your narrative. Best of luck to you with your book.
Thanks.
Okay, so he's referring to a caller who went to jail for throwing a couch in somebody's pool, and he's suggesting that somehow we're bad people because we found that amusing. Et cetera, et cetera. What do you think about that?
I mean, did he damage somebody else's property? Yep. Did he potentially harm another person? Sure. Person on the couch getting thrown into a pool. That's potentially harming. But the point is that justice is supposed to be about making the wrong whole, right? Making the person that you've harmed or potentially damaged, or the property that you've done, making them whole. So,
and he said he was willing to do that.
Absolutely.
And my position was that he should have been able to do that, and that should have been as far as it went. I mean, nobody needs to go to prison for an innocent prank. Yeah, I understand property was destroyed, but that going to prison doesn't make that better. And I wish the guy would have stayed on to talk about it instead of the drive-by call there.
Yeah, that's Bush League.
But yeah, you shouldn't be destroying people's property, but if you do, you ought to make that person whole. And that doesn't just mean replacing the thing that was broken. It also means some sort of penalty on top of it, right? Because you had to suffer the difficulty of not having the couch and whatever frustrations that may have caused, and the cost of dredging it out of the pool and, getting rid of the thing because it's no good then. Some waterlogged, chlorinated couch at that point. And now he said it wasn't the greatest couch in the world. So the nice thing to do here would have been to go ahead and get him a nicer new couch and replace the old one. Yeah. And it sounded like the caller was willing to do that. So that should have been the end of the story, and it should have all been settled outside of court.
Yeah, and there didn't need to be, the goons of government involved and, the bureaucracy and the whole 9 yards that goes along with that. One of the best statements that I've ever heard that pertains to this as from a philosophical perspective. I'm a big science fiction fan. I grew up as a kid watching old Doctor Who, the black and white ones on PBS.
Wow,
right?
That's before even I seen Doctor Who.
Yeah, so stuff that was made before I was born but repeated on PBS as I was growing up.
It was the curly-haired doctor when I was growing up.
Tom Baker.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. They
Those
call
were
it My
color,
Doctor.
though. Those were color episodes.
Right, but the guy right before him, John Pertwee,
Mhm.
those were black and white and then transitioned into color, I think, halfway through his run. But anyway, the quote from the Doctor is, "Never cruel and never cowardly, and if you ever are, always make amends."
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire quote. And that hit me as a kid. Right. And I've sort of just stuck with that, sort of as my, internal philosophy. Right. If you do find yourself being cruel or cowardly, damaging a person or their property, then you should always make amends. And that should be the end of it.
Yep.
So we will go to more of your calls. We have Joe in Franklin County, Pennsylvania. Joe, you're live on Free Talk Live. What's going on?
Hello, guys. Enjoy your show.
Thanks.
It seems like when I started listening this evening, it sounded like you guys were against organized religion.
I don't think we talked about religion at all tonight, did we?
We mentioned it in the sense that statism is a hidden religion,
Yeah.
and I made the comment that somebody said religion was the biggest scam in history.
And I made the comment that religion is the first government.
Yeah, so I am religious. I'm a minister in a interfaith church called the Shire Free Church, but I don't agree with organized religion. I think that it, for the most part, does really bad things. What do you think?
Oh, well, okay. Maybe I misunderstood you. I was thinking maybe you were anti-anything, anti-religion. Because
some of the hosts may be. I'm not sure. I can't speak for Captain Kickass or Etienne here, but
I am an ordained minister in the Church of Spiritual Humanism.
Okay.
But what that means is that
I'm not sure what that means. But
it's a church where we worship the abilities and thoughts of the individual, and that's it.
I personally,
why do you use the word church?
Why do I use the word church?
Yeah, I mean, church basically was founded by Christians. Christians were the first ones to have the word church. Are you a Christian?
Well, I grew up in a Christian family.
Okay, well, it sounds like you've deviated from your Christian roots. when
I've
I hear
definitely
the word
deviated from.
humanism.
I also grew up in a Christian family. I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and I've definitely deviated from those roots because Christianity is a load of hooey for the most part, from what I can tell. But if that's the belief system that you have, you're certainly free to have it, so long as you don't force it on anyone else.
Amen.
Well, no, I don't think a true Christian forces his religion on anybody.
Good.
I think a Christian who lives by what he believes, I think that's the foundation for any society if we're going to be free. When I respect your property and your life, like I want you to respect my property and my life, then I think that is, without that, you can't have a free society.
I agree with you. I got to tell you, I agree with you 100%. The number one thing, if everybody on this planet would just live by the golden rule, if there's a reason it's the golden rule for a reason, if everybody would live by the golden rule, we wouldn't have any problems.
Well, and by the way, many world religions have very similar teachings. The golden rule is not uncommon to be found in a variety of different religions.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like some sort of Christian original or something like that.
No, that's the reason they call it the golden rule, is it's in almost every single religion. There's some version of it.
Well, I'd like to know how, like, if that's sprung out of if they just copied that from the Christian. I don't know. I'm
actually,
just saying,
Christians
it seems
copied
like
a lot of their stuff from
everybody's latched on to it, of course.
Christians copied a lot of their stuff from other religions, like the pagans, for instance. That's where they got a lot of their stuff from.
That's a fact.
Be careful there. I don't know about that. You got to be sure what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure what I'm saying, sir. If you look at
that's easy to say.
Go ahead and look at the history of Christmas, for instance. There's plenty of icons that they just took straight from the pagans.
Thanks for the call, Joe. In fact, I believe most of the symbolism in Christianity can be attributed to either the pagans or the pre-pagan religions before they even had a name for it. So that is indeed a fact. Go ahead and look that up online, Joe.
Yep.
855-450 free like freedom. More of your calls and your thoughts coming up. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube. where you never need an appointment. Or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out? Or CyberCupidMatch.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. It's getting pretty late, but we might have time for your calls at 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's myself, L. Captain Kickass.
It's Ian.
Etienne de la Buissy squared.
Very well, very well. I used to know a guy in a band. His name was Eugenius the Human Pump Handle Slamming Machine Buckshot Esquire, if you will. That was he was a drummer. It's a pretty elaborate name. Before we go back to your calls and thoughts and the rest of our program, I wanted to tell you about ForkFest 2020. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means that there's no ticket costs. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And yes, I am going for the first time. I'm trying to get the full week in there, but I will at least have the last 4 days, so over the holiday weekend there and into the Sunday as well. So
I'm going. Can't
awesome.
Wait. Yeah.
I was going to ask, now you say you're moving to New Hampshire. I know you're doing the book thing and you've been touring around doing some of that stuff. Will you have been moved by the time that comes around, or is your move later?
I'm planning on moving in April.
Okay.
So I'm going to finish the move in April.
Unless you're in the pokey.
Unless I'm in jail for 10 years.
All right, so we're going to go to your calls. And
New Hampshire's going to feel a lot more free if you get out of D.C. jail.
Oh boy.
Indeed it will. We're going to go to your calls. We have Martha calling us from North Carolina. Martha, you're live with Free Talk Live.
Yeah, hi. I'm actually calling to make a comment about the caller, George.
Sure.
That called in before. He brought up the guy who destroyed the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the point that George was making is that you guys were all laughing about the guy destroying somebody's personal property. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was funny.
Yeah, try to have a sense of humor.
It's not funny, though, because that was somebody's personal property, and they worked hard for it, and this kid thinks that it's funny to just destroy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
no, I
anyway,
see where you're
that's all I
coming
wanted to
from.
say, and good luck with your book.
Thank
and
you.
yeah, have a good night.
That's funny.
Thanks for the call,
I think she was
Martha.
his girlfriend.
Maybe.
That caller.
Maybe.
That caller who also did a drive-by.
Yeah, I mean, have you never done a prank?
Maybe they're the couch owners.
Oh, maybe she's the girl. You think she's the girl who's on the couch that got dumped in the pool?
Yeah, but you were saying, have you ever done a prank?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping she didn't hang it so quickly, but I mean, I've done plenty of pranks. I'm older than, Star 69 or Call Trace or whatever you want to call it, right? So, you used to be able to just call random phone numbers and prank call them. We did all sorts of things. One of my favorite calls was to go into the phone book, right? The big old city phone book, and look up the last name Booger, right? And then just pick randomly, right? There's usually 10
There's
or 12
actually
in
somebody
the
with
book.
that name.
Oh yeah. And there's different spellings of it too,
Okay.
right? You know what I mean? But you find and it says Jim Booger, right?
Yeah.
And so you call the number, and the one time we did, a lady answered, and I go, she goes, hello, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was looking for Dave Booger. And she's like, who? I'm like, Dave Booger. She's like, no, I'm sorry, there's no Dave here. I'm like, well, this is the Booger residence, right? She's like, yeah, but this is Nancy Booger, and my husband's Jim. And I go, well, I'm sorry, I guess I must have picked the wrong Booger.
Yeah. It's as far as the property destruction thing is concerned, it's not to say that it's not serious what happened. It's not right to do that, but that doesn't mean you can't find the humor in that situation. And the point at which it would not be funny is if he was not sorry, if he did not understand, what he had done and the consequences of it, or didn't care, or did not want to make the person whole. But he said he was willing to do that. So, to me, that makes it a little bit. I mean, again, it doesn't make it right, but it does mean that he was willing to make it right, and that's the most important factor there.
I mean, and that's kind of the thing about, like human history, right? as you grow as a person and you live, you do things. And then occasionally you look back on them and go, you remember that time we did that thing? And you look back and you laugh on it, even though that situation was probably intense, or that situation was, otherwise, maybe morally questionable, or maybe you got in some trouble about it or whatever, man. As a kid, I did all sorts of things. I got in trouble with the law and stuff. I look back on that now. I laugh about it. I'm like, hey, I used to go around to houses and grab pumpkins in October off of people's porches and smash them in the street.
Yeah, it's crappy.
Right?
I mean, a bunch of young people, especially young males, did some really crappy things when they were younger, and it was, as you pointed out, it's part of a learning process.
And then you discover karma, and then you stop.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
Eventually, somebody smashes your pumpkin,
and you're like, "Hey, okay, I guess
I deserved that."
Yep. Yeah. We're gonna go to your calls and thoughts. We have David from ? David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Florida man strikes again. Since you're down to the end of your
story.
Hang on, before you go, David, I have some friends of mine that are in a band called Florida Man.
Do they strike again and again?
They do.
And again.
They're the band that won't go away. What's on your mind, David?
Oh, man. Yeah, a bunch of stuff in no time. I too have escaped from handcuffs using the yogi technique. I did it 2 times in a row, and the cop said, "You do that again, I'm going to hog tie you." And
where was this?
This was in Arizona.
Wow, recently?
Arizona, no, a long time ago. Okay. Arizona Territorial Prison, Yuma. Take the 310 to Yuma.
Can you still do it if you had to? Like if you got arrested tomorrow, could you still pull off the feat?
I think I could, but I haven't had I had the opportunity to just a year ago or so, but I didn't try. I wasn't in the mood, but I think I could pull it off. Yeah.
Nice.
And I have also had a conference with the Secret Service dudes. In my case, they were really cool. Actually, we had a good time. I was trying to talk them into passing a message to Obama, but they couldn't do it. And I actually heckled Obama. I was the only guy heckling Obama he had the first town hall he did after he got elected to president was in New Mexico, here in Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and I was unsuccessful. Well, actually, I was successful, and I got to meet with his administration, is the people that were traveling with him, and that's how I was talking to the Secret Service. But I couldn't get direct to him, so I heckled him as he was going out about civil rights violations in New Mexico.
So you yelled at him like a heckler would a comedian or something like that?
Yeah, but I was actually yelling serious stuff about civil rights violations, and I saw his. You know how his ears stick out? I saw his right ear turned toward me when I yelled it at him, so I know he heard me. It was funny. He's walking down the hall. He's about 50 feet down the hall, and I yell at him, and he's just walking straight, and I see his head cocked to the left, and his ear kind of stick out. So I know at least he heard me.
His David sense was tingling.
Yeah. So, and Raul Torres, the DA of Bernalillo County, who is nepotistically married to the dean of students at the University of New Mexico, one of the two of them still needs to resign because on the record they admit they have a conflict of interest and that all cases in the University of New Mexico police jurisdiction have to be transferred out of Bernalillo County. So that brings up an interesting thing. If you got busted for a DWI by the UNM PD and they ship your case 200 miles down to Alamogordo like they did to that basketball player Caldwell, does that mean that the cop has to drive 200 miles each way, 400-mile round trip to testify against you, Raul Torres?
Yeah, I don't know. And also, I mean, isn't it a requirement for them to show up? Otherwise, the case, sort of goes away?
In that kind of a case, they would have to.
Motion
they would have
to dismiss.
Because,
no witness.
So good. Yeah. So it sounds like some good business for the lawyer since Raul Torres has to transfer every single case coming out of the University of New Mexico jurisdiction, has to transfer it out of Bernalillo County.
All right,
so that could be fun for you, Raul.
Thanks for the call, David. We are out of time. Thanks to all of our listeners for listening. We'll talk to you again next time on Free Talk Live. View our archives at freetalklive.com.
Are you able to set your own schedule, work, play, or sleep whenever you want, 7 days a week? Are you free to date whomever you want, even if you're already married? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of
Hey, so we're here. GCN disconnected early, so we're just going to have to fill another 10 seconds because I don't know why the board ops keep doing this.
We can talk in all sorts of weird voices now.
But
this is my best Les Claypool impersonation.
They do keep doing it, and we need to have it here.
Funny thing about the weekends when you're unemployed, they don't seem to mean quite so much.
Can I pump the turtle party?
Except you're out of time.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,567. Silver at $17.83. and Bitcoin is trading around $9,730. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, on Tuesday, a House committee approved a bill to put a 3-year ban or moratorium on the use of facial recognition for surveillance or any other purposes by the state and its political subdivisions. Passage into law would represent an important first step towards protecting privacy and rejecting the national surveillance state. Activist Post reports a coalition of 3 Democrats introduced House Bill 2856 January 27th. The legislation would put a 3-year ban on the use of facial recognition by government in Washington state. If passed into law, state and local government agencies would be prohibited from obtaining, retaining, requesting, accessing, or using any facial recognition technology or any information obtained from or by use of facial recognition technology. Additionally, any information obtained from or by the use of facial recognition would be barred from being used as evidence in any trial or other proceeding before a court or other authority subject to the jurisdiction of Washington. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today